Welcome back, everyone, to episode 34 of Show and Tell. This is just my small adventure to highlight the creators and contributors to the Magic the Gathering community. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by not one, but two guests, Steel City, Steph and Brad. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yes, it's, as I was kind of joking up beforehand, not my first pairing of people on the pod. Alliteration is a literary device I like,
There you go.
unfortunately. Yeah, so, super cool to get to sit down with you. Been not trying. You've been very receptive. I've been meaning to reach out probably since Vegas, which is, when was Vegas? Was that
Who's
June?
counting? I'm not
It's
counting.
time
you
is
don't
a
need to count.
No, time is a flat circle. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, we already had, Atlanta's already come and gone, so it's the past. It's no big deal. Where I like to start, as with most stories, is at the beginning, and just kind of wanted you to kind of get into Magic. Like, was that always something you both did, or did one get the other one into it, or what's that story?
Yeah, that's a good question. You want to go ahead and get started on this one, or no?
Yeah, so it's actually funny. Our both of our introductions into Magic have a similar thread. For me, it started my senior year of high school. I don't know if you ever watched that show on YouTube, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
No, I've only watched one abridged. It was
That's
Dragon Ball Z, but Yu-Gi-Oh! I think there was a Veguwagon Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged at one point. A little different though, but no, I missed that one though.
Yeah, so my friends and I thought that was really funny, and so we watched it, and then we started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Ironically, and then the summer after I graduated, we were all still hanging out, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, let's play Magic," and I was like, "I've never heard of this game," but pretty quickly I decided that I was interested in playing it unironically, and so I got a little bit into it that summer, but for a while when I went to college, I didn't really have anyone to play with, so it sort of got put on the back burner. But sophomore year of college, I rallied some friends to keep playing, and in the process, I met Steph.
Yeah, we were board game. We played board games a lot. That was like the big thing. And then, so I was dating someone else at the time when I met Brad, but he was like, "No, Magic's really cool.
No.
Magic is."
Yay.
Yeah, like I was fine. But
No,
I like this one better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we. So I was like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better than Magic. Like, please play Yu-Gi-Oh! With me. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so fun. And we had a group of people who were playing, and Brad was like, but really Magic is better. And I was like, no, it's not. And he was like, but yeah, and he was right, as it turns out. So, and here we are lots of years later, having not put the game down. So, started playing just like generic, like 60-card kitchen table, like just building as many decks as we possibly could from our local game store. They had like this $5 deal where you could go bulk hunting to fill out the entire deck, but then you could get like one $5 rare, like 3 $1 rares, and like a handful of 50-cent cards. For like $5. And as a college kid, it was like so cool. I was so there. And so we just did that a lot. We spent entire afternoons at this game store digging through their bulk. Found a revised Soul Ring, which at the time was not a big deal. But is a big deal now.
Little did you know.
Yeah. So anyway, made my money back, I guess. But yeah, so we got started doing that, and then you were gifted the Oloro Precon at some point throughout our dating history, and we couldn't just have one commander deck; we had to have two. So I had to build one to play against him, and
naturally,
then it snowballed. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Story reminds me a lot of how I got into Magic. I told it a lot on the show, probably not to you, so I'm going to tell it again. But I started playing in junior high because my junior high had 2 lunch periods, and I think one year all my friends were like in the first lunch period and I was in like the second lunch period. So this is going to sound really mean, but I had to hang out with like my second group of friends. Like we were friends, but it's not like, tangential.
Yeah.
And they all played Magic. So I was like, well, I think at the time I was really into Star Wars CCG, the customizable card game.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, another card game. Like, yeah. So I started playing then, and then played through junior high and then kind of stopped for a little bit at the beginning of high school, and then got into it at the end of high school. And then I went to college. I found a group of people who who played, and kind of same thing. 60 card, like proto Commander, right? It was like multiplayer, but there was no commanders. There was still 20
you were
live.
playing multiplayer.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just it'd be like 3 people, 4 people, 1-on-1, 3v, free for all, 3 people,
Okay.
4. I mean, I remember one game it was like 6 of us. It was not. It was just like, if you think a 6-player Commander game is hard, imagine playing it with. It was wild. But
60 card constructed. Yeah, that would be a long time.
yeah, so, but just, I can remember there's a shout out Alakazam Comics next to UC Irvine. That was our kind of, we'd go down there, rummage through like the 10-cent bins and try to find stuff. And I always remember, they had fetch lands for $5 each. And we're like, why would you, like, that's like $5 for a land. Like, why would you?
Oh my goodness.
If only I knew. Yeah.
We had, Brad and his brother got into Magic at about the same time initially. And they were both lifeguards, had no real financial responsibilities at the time. Like they were like still living at home. And so they bought a lot of Magic product. And as it turns out, when you buy a lot of Magic product during the Zendikar block, you end up with a lot of fetch lands.
Yeah.
And also, when you don't know anything about Magic, you have no idea why fetch lands are good. And so we went through the cards that he opened in his collection. We were like, this doesn't even produce mana. Why would you not use a Terramorphic Expanse? It costs you life. Why are people paying money for this on this weird website called TCG Player? Like, why is that happening? And so we sold it and just didn't think anything of it until years later when we're like, oh yeah, we had a Verdant Catacombs, didn't we? So
Yeah, that's I started playing during Urza's block, but I don't have any like cradles or anything. I will say I have a bunch of like demonic tutors, vampiric tutors, and ancient tombs from back when I played, and from like my friends who've just given them their collection. So like, ancient tomb, the Tempest one's like $100 now, so I can't complain too hard about things. But so Yu-Gi-Oh, gosh. Fun. I have a Yu-Gi-Oh story. Is my friend in college who I played a bunch of Magic with. He had a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and I was like, "Oh, I built like Yugi's deck from the show." Like anytime I kind of watch the show, so anytime I see a card in the show, I'd put it in this deck. Like we should play one day. He's like, "Okay, cool." And like I think I put down a card, and then this would have been 2004, 2005. So I don't know. Do you remember Jinzo? Did you ever like that card ring a bell to you at all?
The name is familiar. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember the name.
Yeah, I just remember. I think it was like an archetype that lasted like a while I don't know, but he did this whole thing and I died in like the second turn. I'm like, I don't think this deck is actually playable. I think the storyline stuff is a little different from the actual playing of the cards, but that's actually. I mean, that's I think the kids call it a meet cute in a way, like the kind of fun way to like get together. But what kind of board games are you guys playing? Because it's always so interesting, the board game thing, because board games are like huge now. Like there's like just so many wild. Like I have a friend who literally has like over 150 board games, and he's probably only played like a third of them because it's just like they take so long. They take so long to learn how to play, and then if you find one you like, it's like, well, do I play the one I know I liked, or I try this other one? But I'm just curious, like what board games are you guys kind of playing back? I'm just what was available then?
What was available then?
Yeah, or like what
much
you said you were playing
than now. So back then, we really liked. I mean, we got into board games with Settlers of Catan, so we did a lot of that in college. But we also found the cool co-op games with weird spaghetti monsters from space. And so Arkham Horror is a cooperative game set in the Lovecraftian universe, and it's gone through a couple iterations over the years, but the iteration that we were playing then basically you're a bunch of investigators and you're trying to solve a mystery a great mystery before the Great Old One comes down from space and laser beams everybody, and so and or otherwise devastates the population. There are a number of different things that the Great Old Ones can do depending on which Great Old One it is. But yeah, so we figured out that cooperative board games can be fun, if not outrageously complicated. But also we realized during that time that like sometimes board game complexity can be worth it. Like it's not always like a bad thing if a board game is complicated, because if it creates fun memories and you have a good time playing it and it's strategically satisfying to a degree. Now I'm not sure that I would call Arkham Horror that nowadays, but back then it really felt satisfying to play, and I think the complexity was worth it for me then. And so yeah,
there was definitely a time like, because I was, as far as that group of like board game friends, I was coming in with my experience with board games was Monopoly and Scrabble. And so like I didn't really understand what I was getting into, and so we played Settlers, which I was never huge on Settlers, but it was fine.
Yeah.
We played a lot of Dominion.
That's right.
Okay.
Dominion's great.
Okay.
And there were a couple other games, but then the first time I played Arkham Horror, I was like, wow, I like this game. And for a while, it was like board complexity was the only thing that mattered.
Yeah.
Right? The more complex a game was, the better the game was in my eyes, regardless of whether or not it was worth it. It was just the more moving parts, the better. And I think we've both kind of like
middled
like just because a game is complex doesn't mean it's good, but
the complexity has to be worth it. If it's really complex and there's a good payoff, then it feels really satisfying to play through and to learn to play well. But if it's not, then it just kind of feels like you spent a bunch of time spinning your wheels for no reason, and that doesn't feel good. So we like games that feel like they're worth it for whatever degree of complexity they have. Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like there's a metaphor for magic in there as well, but we can talk about that later.
There's a metaphor for a lot of things in life there, I think. Yeah.
Do you guys still play board games, or is it mostly just Magic, or do you?
Yeah. So our dirty little secret is we like board games more than we like Magic. We just have the occasion to play Magic more often. So we're actually really excited. We're going to PAX Unplugged here in a few weeks.
Where is that at?
It was this like little indie board game show for like several years, and then board games decided to explode in popularity. So now it's like board games and Magic and TTRPGs. It's like all the stuff you find at PAX except for the electronic stuff. That's why it's all called Unplugged. And so all the tabletop gaming stuff is there, and it's my favorite show of the whole year. And we are going there basically exclusively to play board games and play and learn new board games, because we missed the show last year, so we don't know any of the new hotness. So we are very excited to learn about them. The board, we definitely still play. We play Magic a lot more because there's a lot more. It's easier to get on a webcam and play Magic, or run to my local. Like we have like 30 local game stores within like an hour of Pittsburgh's downtown, and there's Commander somewhere drivable every night of the week if we wanted to play. And a
big part of the draw for Commander for us is that you can kind of treat it like a board game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it not just being 1v1 mimics a lot of the like political threat assessment, like resource management things that we like from board games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's definitely I've started playing with friends. We have like I've gotten them into Magic, but we've started playing a lot of their board games, and I think our most played one right now is a game called Nemesis, just called Nemesis. It's kind of like, it's basically like the movie Alien, but like a board game. And there's a very like, you kind of get mission cards. One's a corporate one, and one's like a personal one. And then at one point, an alien shows up, and you have to choose like which one you want to fulfill. And usually, like one of them is like, make sure the ship is on course for Earth, or the other one's like, make sure player 3 dies, and it's like
so you could be a saboteur.
Yeah, exactly. So and you're not allowed to like tell people, can't show them your actual card. You can say whatever you want, right? My claim to fame is and it's one of those games where like no one everyone just could lose, like, right? No one necessarily will always win. So I think they had played it a few times before I played with them, and no one actually had won. And the first time I played, I was an engineer, and mine was basically like be the only survivor. I picked be the only survivor, so I was like, let me go check all the engines. I'm like, oh yeah, all the engines are working. It's fine. And they weren't working. I broke all of them. And then as soon as the escape pods opened, my turn came around, and I was just like, I hop in an escape pod and leave, and they're all just like, what just happened? And like 2 turns later, the ship blew up, and I won. It was great. So
amazing.
But now they never trust me when I say anything, so I've kind of I have to bear that.
You burned that bridge early. Yeah. Goodness.
But worth it. 100% worth it.
Yeah. We don't do a whole lot of the political games because 2 things. 1, everybody always thinks I'm sus because I talk a lot. And 2, this one can't tell a lie to literally save his life, which is a wonderful trait in a human being.
Yeah, I find that if it requires any like any amount of like social deduction or like deception, I can't do it. Like there's a game, a board game called Dead of Winter. That's
Okay.
like a zombie survival game. But one of the mechanics of the game is there is a chance that one of the players is a secret betrayer. Kind of
Oh.
like what you were saying with like,
Yeah.
so like, it's not guaranteed, but there's a chance. And probably 75 to 80% of the games of Dead of Winter I have played, I have been the secret betrayer. And so I just don't like that game anymore because I can't, like, I literally have, I don't know how to navigate that situation.
Too
but
too
something
honest.
like,
Too honest for us.
You know, there are worse problems to have in life.
yeah.
That's funny. So board games to Magic to more board games.
Yeah.
But is it safe to say? Maybe it's not safe to say, but Commander is probably your most played format these days. Is that? Because I'm interested because you guys do a lot. You guys play. Let's put it this way: you guys play a lot of Commander, yeah. Yeah, and like I feel like for a lot of kitchen top players, Commander was kind of a like for me when I came back to Magic the most recent time, which God, it's gonna feel forever. It was when Dominaria came out, so that was 2018. So it's been 7 years again. Like I had never, I came back and that's when I had heard of EDH and Commander. I'm like, what is this? What is this format? But finding it's like a relatively, I like the deck building constructions. Like I can use cards from essentially any set. Like I had a fairly old collection, not good cards, but old cards. So like for me, I felt like the most kitchen table-esque way to play Magic, but kind of updated that everyone kind of spoke the same language. Did you find like when you started playing Commander, was it like to feel like, oh, this is kind of like what I'm looking for out of Magic, or what was your experience just like with moving to Commander like?
Yeah, you get me. You can go on this.
Yeah, I was first introduced into Commander just like we were at a friend's house. Like I was at a friend's house. You were not there for this, and they just handed me a deck and were like, we're going to play Commander. And I was like, I don't get it. And after my first game, I was like, this is a stupid format. Why would I ever play this?
Yeah.
Then my college friends started getting into it. And I remember being very offended by the idea of a color identity restriction. And so I was like, I'm going to build a Horde of Notions 5-color deck because you can't tell me what colors I am ever not allowed to play. But yeah, but eventually, like I came to really appreciate the color identity restrictions, and like the fact that I don't have to I can build around whatever weird theme or mechanics I want. I don't have to think about a meta to have to try to compete with. Like it is a lot of what I enjoy about Magic is satisfied by Commander.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. That said, though, we played a lot of Standard.
We did, yeah.
Like we
That's
were,
true.
we were the
interesting.
like FNM grinders for a little while. We loved Standard. We loved we did all the pre-release events. Loved drafting for a long time. I think there was a time in our lives where we did that more than we did more than we played Commander. Even though we never really stopped playing Commander, it was just that was more accessible. It was a more consistent crowd, so we did that a lot, and it was like
Won a couple game days.
yes,
Got some
have
champion playmats?
Have some champion playmats. So
Oh, wow,
in case
okay.
the Pro Tour people who decide on Pro Tour invites need qualifiers, I can show them our playmats from FNM, Eldritch Moon, and FN, like whatever. But no, but
Hey, that's
no,
not nothing. Yeah.
It's not. We actually made some stiff competition in our local game store. It was not nothing. I think we stopped really playing a lot of Standard when our decks were banned back to back. Like we.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
right
I
when they
was
started
playing-
rebanning cards again.
I was playing Aetherworks, Marvel, Ulamug, and Emrakul. Like the you popped spaghetti monsters out of a toaster every other turn or something like that in Standard, and they were like, that's bad. And then Brad was like, oh, they printed 2 cards in the same set that go infinite with each other. That's Saheeli and Felidar Guardian. And turns out that got banned almost immediately. And so, but we were both like really into it, and we were both playing. Like I was playing the Aetherworks Marvel deck. Brad was playing the Felidar Guardian deck, and we were like, okay, well, both of our decks just got blown up.
And at that point, we were probably pretty close to evenly split on Standard and Commander.
Yeah, so
and
we
we
just
were
jumped
just
back
like,
into
we'll
Commander
just keep
full,
playing
yeah.
Commander. It's whatever.
Yeah. But all that said, so Commander does scratch and itch for me.
Yeah.
Like I really do like the 1v1, I'm competing against you and only you mindset. I think for me, it's the, in the same way, like chess is a board game, but you approach that in a very different way than you approach Settlers of Catan, right?
Yeah.
And so I love chess, and I like, and the equivalent here is like 1v1 trying to outmaneuver and outthink one person with a limited amount of information about their board, but even it's just one person that you have to focus on learning information about and trying to outmaneuver. And it feels a lot more chess-like there. Yeah. That has great things about it, but I don't like Commander for the same reasons. I like Commander a lot, but I like Commander for different reasons. And so for me, I need both.
Yeah. It's the hubris of a Commander player. Like, oh, you guys just play Commander? It's like, no, we played Standard. We have trivia. Well, it's, because I never played competitively. I went to one Friday Night Magic my whole life, but I played most of my life like 1v1 stuff, like 60 card, and it was not in like a actual tournament setting, but like just like a lot of 1v1 where you gotta play to win, right? And I think a lot of Commander players would be it would be a good thing for them to try 60 card 1v1 formats a little more maybe than they do. Mm-hmm. I think there is something there that you miss from actually to your point, kind of the chess game of just playing one person, because like Commander's got two weird things to it. Like one, there's like this, and you probably won't necessarily agree with this, but there's like a thought process. Like you don't necessarily play Commander to win unless it's CEDH, right? There's like this kind of weird balance sometimes about like. I don't know. I
don't know about that. There are a lot of people that feel that way.
That's what I mean. That's what I say. I agree with you. Like I think like if you play Commander, like you should try to win. I think someone has to win, and I think sometimes like we all got to do the thing. You all got to do the thing. Like no, like that should a game of everyone always doing the thing every time is not. That's not anything. That's not nothing but...
Yeah, like cooperative games exist, right? And I love them. We talked about that already. I love tabletop RPG games. I consider that a cooperative board game. Love that kind of stuff because it's designed to be cooperative. But games that are not designed to be cooperative, trying to pretend like they are... doesn't grok to like I can't understand that. So for me, I don't know that there's much of a point unless like I want to play games where I am trying to win a game or I'm trying to beat my opponents. No, I can be super unserious about it, but ultimately when it comes down to it, I'm playing the cards I am playing against you because I would like to be the victor in the situation.
I think for us, a lot of the like I'm gonna hold back and have cultivate a casual like winning doesn't necessarily matter like that. We do that during deck building, like by choosing goofy cards or building around weird restrictions. But like when we're actually in a game, it's like, let's do this. Let's get this game.
And like, and we don't like select decks specifically to like pub stomp anybody, and we try to like make sure that the deck selection is also like I think deck selection is also a part of the where we rein ourselves back. Like we try to find decks that are fun to play against in a given scenario, given certain opponents playing certain decks, whatever. And so the idea that playing to win in Commander means that you're super serious, I think is kind of, I don't know that that's like a one necessitates the other kind of thing. I think that you can be super unserious, be beer and pretzels about it, and like have a great time with your friends, but also want to smash their faces in the pavement, like metaphorically, but but like you can do that. And I think it's really fun when you approach games that way. Now, So playing with strangers, there's some like political kinds of things or there's a little bit of finesse associated with that, but I think you can also accomplish that goal with strangers too. So.
Yeah, I think it's, winning isn't everything. Like if you lose, like you should expect to lose Commander because it's wonderful, right? But when you're playing, like you should try to like your deck should you should try to win the game,
try to
right?
Win. You don't have to be super serious about it. Like you put no stakes on it, but like try to win. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think just the nature of a multiplayer, lost the word, cooperative cooperative format is like sometimes the politics, like you feel like you lost just because like, oh, these two people ganged up to me because I was doing so well.
Yeah.
But like to your point, I think that's where playing like 1v1 might scratch an itch in a different way, where it's like, oh no, it's just you and your deck.
Yeah.
Like, I used to play a lot of golf, and golf is like very much like it's all you on the golf course. Like, let me tell you, I've been out there and I have hacked away, and I probably still hold my high school's single score for worst round of 9 holes because I didn't know what I was doing. But like, it's just there's. Yeah, I just think there's different ways to enjoy Magic, and I think you guys will probably agree with that as well as we kind of get into it. But I do think like 60 card 1v1 formats. I love playing Pauper. Like Pauper is one of my best, for a affordable kind of way. I used to play when I got back into it. My buddy was really into Modern, so I built like a bunch of Modern decks, which was not inexpensive. And then he switched to Standard, which was a little better. But then like we kept having we had a rotation. I'm like, I don't want to have to buy buy another thing. Well, like for me, like Pauper is a good way to like you can still get that kind of 60 card 4 of kind of experience, but like it's that 1v1 chess match that you kind of don't necessarily get in Commander. I mean, I guess you could play 1v1 Commander, if you wanted to. I find the four ofs, and that's kind of makes what 60 card special sort of thing.
I think your mindset for one can inform your mindset for the other. Though I don't think they're the same mindset, but I think they can be informed. So like you were talking about how if two people gang up on you because you're winning or you pulled out too fast and you lost because of that, you can think about those kinds of arrangements in Commander in a chess-like way. Like you can position yourself so it looks like you're not as ahead as what you maybe are. And finesse your timing so that you pull ahead at exactly the right time. Now, there's a lot of that you have to think about in like 4-person competitive board games too, which is kind of where you have to think about not just your relationship against like your position against one other player. It's your position against 3 other players, and so anyway, there's a lot that you can do on your end of things, and not just like put everything on the table all at once. And there's a lot of there's some chess like kinds of things that you can implement there. You don't have to think about it that hard. In fact, most people don't, but you can. Yeah,
and I think again, like playing 60 card or 1v1 formats. Let me tell you, I have this stupid blue-red like Is It Wizards deck on Arena, and it took me not too long to realize, if I'm playing against blue-white control, I probably should not jam all my creatures on the ground because they're probably going to have a board wipe, and I'm just going to die. So, I just, I think it's good to experience Magic in multiple formats. I think it informs, or it can inform the way you enjoy the game a lot better, but I think you can learn a lot from one format, or, bring those skills over to another, which I think is just kind of, I think sometimes it gets overlooked in the commander-ness of it all. These days, maybe, so.
Yeah. In Standard, you can do a little bit of predicting what the other person's going to do, which is great because like you understand what decks are in the meta. You can be like, okay, they have this much mana up in this configuration. They're probably going to play, this spell against me, and so I can maneuver myself against what I think is going to happen there. You can do that a little bit in Commander. Now, Commander is kind of like, there's not a lot that you can do. If somebody has 5 mana up and 2 of it is black and white, you probably can brace yourself for an Ink Shield. And, you can probably do a little bit of, like, strategizing there, but, like, it's hard to do that in Commander. So, so there's some crossover, but there's certainly not, like, a ton of crossover.
So I had a question for Brad. You are/were a judge? Is that correct? Did I?
So that the answer to that is essentially yes.
Essentially, okay. I didn't know if you were officially
judges for
you were
a
both
while.
were judges.
Yeah.
Okay, you're both were judges. Okay, pardon me.
Right. The judge program has gone through several different phases of ownership, and we did not re-up with the most recent phase. But that said, you don't need to be certified through that organization, and so we could work an event tomorrow if we wanted to.
Yeah, we still sometimes help out our game stores around here as they need.
Okay.
But
anyway, so you can do that.
So I can perform the duties of a judge, and I still have all the knowledge, obviously.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
okay, well then
he can run your RCQ for you if you want.
Okay,
competitive policy and
there
rules
you go.
real good and all of that stuff.
Okay, well then that works out even better. I apologize, I didn't realize you were also a judge. But I was going to ask then, what is the weirdest question you either you've gotten as a judge, or is there anything that you like that stick out? Like, oh, that was a really weird interaction. Or anything that like pops. I know I'm putting you on the spot. I probably should have prepped that question beforehand. But.
There was one. I think it was at the first RCQ that I ever judged, and it was also my first competitive event that I was judging. Not the first, but the first for a while.
Yeah.
Like it was like we worked on one together before the pandemic, and this was like right as the like lockdowns were starting to let up.
Yeah.
Everyone was still masking and all that, but there was a significant gap, and I don't know if this isn't necessarily like a rules question, but I was behind the counter at this game store. I had just come off a rules call or a judge call or something, and one of the players, a player in the event who had finished their round, they were spectating another game, approached me and said, "Hey, I just watched, a rules violation at that table over there. Could you go check it out?" Which is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's a little known factor if or not, but as a spectator, the tournament rules allow you to pause a match in progress to go get a judge to come look at a thing. This person did not do that. They were the match was still proceeding.
I don't think most players know that you can do that.
Yeah, I know I've told players before, like, hey, if you notice something, you can totally ask them to stop playing and come get me. So I was on my way over to that table, and another spectator approaches me about a different rules violation in the same game.
Oh.
And so I pick up my pace, and by the time I get to my table, the two players in the game are having a discussion about a third rules violation that had occurred in the time it took me to get to the table.
Oh, wow.
And so there was a lot of like, okay, stop whatever
Everybody
you're doing.
stop.
We got to talk about what's going on at this table because this is insane.
Oh, that's funny. Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize it's funny that a spectator can activate a judge like that. See, I play a lot of pickup basketball, and I live by the rule: if you're not in the game, you don't get to say if it's a foul or not.
Sure.
It's like, you're not playing, but little different for I think a competitive event like that. But that's interesting, and that's funny. Did you get them sorted out, or was this too long ago, or was it just...
I don't remember because this was like 2020.
Yeah.
And so like I don't remember what the issue was. I think one of them involved a through the breach. But I don't remember exactly what the problems were or how I fixed it, but it was just like I was like, man, I hope this is not a normal thing for judges, because if I have to untangle stuff like this at every event, I'm not going to like it.
Oh, that's too funny. How about you, Steph? Anything that springs to mind in your judging?
So I didn't do... So Brad got certified as a level 2 judge, just let him do the competitive stuff. But competitive Magic stresses me out. And so I mostly just kind of lived in, I'm going to help stores out running. So I was just a level 1 judge, and I helped stores run their like FNMs and their drafts and their pre-releases. I don't want to judge events where there are significant things on the line because it stresses me out a lot. And so I didn't have any of those big important events. I think my hardest judge call was, hey, how does draft work? And so, honestly, like, part of judging too is like event administration and like that kind of stuff. So I did a lot of that too. And when we worked events together, I mostly was like behind the computer, like doing all the things that we need to do to run the event. And he was usually the one on the floor taking the calls. So, I don't know that I had any calls that like really stood out in my mind. There was one that like, I had to make a distinction between a creature and a creature card to somebody, but that was really it.
Huh.
Yeah, nothing super crazy, but yeah.
That's funny.
It's been a while though. I haven't judged an event in a couple of years at this point.
I gotcha. Well, it seems like you've kind of been prone to the administration stuff, right? I do believe you've taken over helping with like the OG Commander stream. That's kind of part of some of your side.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, like,
you're helping. I don't want to say taken over, but you've you've lended a hand. It seems like a little bit.
It's
sometimes.
Gavin's stream for sure, but yeah.
Yeah.
So the OG Commander is the artists formerly known as the Commander Rules Committees. Previously, it was their stream. It was their Twitch handle for many, many, many years, where they had like a regular Thursday night thing where everybody on the committee got together and played games together, and it was like their time to kind of interface with the public. And then they handed the keys to Wizards, and they were like, well, hey, here we are with this stream slot and this community that we've developed over how many years. What do we do? And the answer is Gavin wanted to keep streaming. So Gavin Duggan, one of the guys that was on the rules committee, kept it going. And he is good at a great many things and has a lot of things going on in his life. And so just one of the things maybe he needs a little help with is like event administration and organization and getting people scheduled and stuff like that. And turns out that's the kind of nerdy stuff that I really like. So just helping out a buddy. And
well, it's fun. I mean,
yeah.
I got to play on it when I didn't go to MC Atlanta, or Magic Atlanta, so that was a fun time. Had a good time playing on stream with Gavin. It was a very interesting experience. We got 2 games in. I very rarely get 2 games on a stream these days, so that was great. And I was only like half exhausted, so super fun times. Great stream to check out for sure. Okay, here's a question I've been waiting to ask because I've been too lazy to look it up myself. Talk to me about Pai-Gow Magic. What is Pai-Gow Magic? What is it? What is it? I know I think you two are very big proponents of it. Mm-hmm. I literally know nothing about it. I've been meaning to look. It's like one of those things where like I should see what that is, and I just, life gets busy, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity.
So the short version is Pai-Gow is like a mini game that you can play with booster packs.
Okay.
If you ever come visit us at a con, we have these little pamphlets we hand out as part of our little swag stuff that has some rules on how to play some limited mini games.
Okay.
And Pai-Gow is one of them. I think Pai-Gow so far has proven to be my favorite of the limited mini games. But the idea is, so it's a way that you can, if you have one friend and each of you has one booster pack, then it's a way that you can play a game, kill some time, 5-10 minutes. But the way it goes is you each open your booster pack and you can look at the cards. It works better with 15 card packs than 14 card packs, but what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. But you create as many 3-card piles as you can. And so for a 15-card pack, you make 5 piles. For a 14-card pack, you make 4, and then you have 2 cards left over. But the goal is that you and your opponent are going to play a series of miniature games of Magic where each of you has infinite mana and 5 life. Okay. And you don't lose the game for drawing from an empty deck. But so you're building these 3-card piles with the intent that you will be playing against your opponent's 3-card piles. And all 3 cards start in your hand. And so, it's just you, and then essentially, in a 15-card pack, you're playing first to 3 wins, or in a 14-card pack, you play first to 2, I guess. But really, we almost always we just
play all 4.
Play all the packs anyway, or play the piles anyway. But yeah, it's one of the things that makes it really fun is it still gives you the opportunity to strategize, but it also makes you think about Magic in a weird way. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that you have access to infinite mana means that your weird 2-mana 1/1 common creature that has an activated ability for 9 mana or whatever that deals 1 damage to something is just an instant win. You play it and you win. Like if you had a lava axe in your pack, you can just be like 5 damage to your face. I win. There's a lot of cards that are really bad in almost every other version of Magic that are really good in Pai-Gow.
And similarly, there are cards that are very good in lots of other facets of Magic that are completely useless in Paizo.
Yeah.
And so it gets you to think about cards a little differently, which is fun. And another thing that's good about it too is you don't need anything else. You literally just need 2 booster packs and a buddy. You don't need lands, you don't need sleeves, you don't need any of that kind of stuff. You can just sit down, like if you're in between rounds at your local game store waiting for a pod to open up, you can buy 2 booster packs and sit down with a buddy and have fun for 20 minutes. And it's great. So, yeah.
That seems simple enough. How many, that little sheet you had, if you have like a digital version, I can pop it up, but how many mini games do you have listed on that sort of thing? How many are
we
there?
Have 3. Yeah, we've got Pai Gow, we've got Winchester Draft, and then we've got Mini Masters. Mini Masters is Pack Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people know. We also play a lot of 1v1 sealed that requires everybody to have 6 booster packs. That's a lot of booster packs to have, so not a lot of people have those. We did the ones that you can play with like 3 packs or less.
That makes sense.
With people, but yeah. So Pai Gow, you just need the one pack each. Winchester Draft, you need 6 packs total, so 3 packs each, and then you need basic land station. And then Mini Masters, you need 2 packs each, and then you need 6 of each basic land.
Got it. So like that stuff I think is really cool because, and you kind of pointed out, like a card that's really maybe not great in normal Magic is like really good in Pai Gow, and a card that it's good in Pai Gow and Navi, and like it's those. I think that really speaks to like maybe like the staying power, the importance of Magic is, the Magic is like really just a system, right? It's a rules engine that we use, and the cards kind of slot in different ways. And I think when you play these other kind of types of Magic, be it standard or modern or commander or Pai Gow or something like Dan, when you start thinking about cards in different ways, it really kind of opens up just I think how you play the game and how you do like deck construction and deck building. And I think it's a good like mental exercise for kind of like I probably need to take this own advice because I don't like limited. I don't like drafting very much. I'm like, why would I want to play a 4/4 that costs 6 mana that does no, you know what I mean? Like, but there's for something like Pai Gow's unlimited mana, right? It's a 4/4. Like that's a great body, and that's those kind of processes you think about, like it's just like examining cards and play styles differently, and I think that's a very good kind of talent to help to develop, to kind of build upon.
Yeah. Putting cards in some kind of context, like whenever, like learning how to evaluate cards against the context in which you're playing them is very, very, very important. And I think we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
I also know you're. Oh, go ahead.
Our recent focus on limited has definitely altered how our approach to Magic. Like I was telling Steph that like almost like since we started making limited content and really getting into like sealed and draft, my impression of sets is no longer guided by like the reprint value or the like fun cards I want for my commander decks or how it affects standard. It's strictly, is it a fun limited environment? Is the draft format fun? And so like that's why like some of my favorite sets in recent history were like Duskmourn and Ether Drift that like are generally not regarded well, but
Duskmourn was regarded well, but yeah.
Sure. But like Ether Drift especially was not really regarded all that well, but I had a ton of fun drafting Ether Drift. And so like I liked the set.
Ether Drift in an isolated environment. Now, I don't know how much it added to other formats, but in limited, it was so good. It was so good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Well, Ether Drift is one of, speaking of context, right? Ether Drift is one of those formats that, I don't know, maybe it's a year or 2 years from now, there's going to be a set or a commander or something that comes out, and all of a sudden vehicles and all that kind of stuff is, max speed is going to be like, oh no, this is like awesome to play because there's they're going to print some weird enabler or some, or it's like how stuff kind of pops.
Modern Horizons 7.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. It's going to be some Modern Horizons thing where it's just like, you play a land, and it's like all your artifact vehicles are now just artifact creatures, and you're just like, oh well, all right, here we go. But yeah, that's too funny. Yeah, it's the limited stuff. Are you guys into cubing? Do you guys cube at all? Have you?
We love cube. We don't often have the occasion to play it, but we are very interested in cube.
I've recently, I didn't understand. I knew what cube was, and again, as someone who's not really into drafting, I didn't get it. And then my Magic group one of my friends brought his popper cube, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here's a popper cube," and it had like all these, it was like all the what is it? All the shadow creatures from like Tempest and everything. Like when I first, I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my god!" I was just like,
Yeah.
"I love this! I love this! I must immediately go build a cube, like all the cubes." And so I immediately ran out and spent the next like 3 months building a Lord of the Rings cube. So I have that.
We'll have good news for you about next year.
I know. I was very excited. I have this idea for a Final Fantasy cube, but I'm not good enough at building cubes to like do it on my own. So I'm trying to let it percolate. I'm trying to find someone who's good at it. Like, hey, I have this idea.
I can connect you. My
see,
friend Greg is
We know a
very,
guy.
very, very good at it.
Do you? Okay.
He's a brilliant cube designer.
That's how to pitch him this idea because I think
Yes.
it's super cool, and it's gonna be a secret till it's built. Not that I don't. Who cares? Really.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I'd love to, but yeah, cube. I mean, cube's cool, but again, like a lot of times, like the Lord of the Rings cube is like an 8-person cube, so like it's hard to get 8 people, you know, just on a Tuesday night. I think we've done it with 6, and then we just kind of did an altered, you know, bigger packs and kind of made it work. But yeah, I mean, to your point, like enjoying sets in a, you know, outside of like reprint value and like what's the chase card or what's this or that, I think definitely, you know, brings a lot more to like just enjoying the game in general, right? Like, it brings a lot more depth to just like what you're doing. And I know, like, you kind of, I think in your pre-show stuff, you're talking about, you know, booster packs are not lottery tickets. They're designed to be open and the cards played, right? And that's, I definitely get that, and I get that vibe, which, you know, makes sense, right? I can see that for sure.
You get disappointed a whole lot less often when you treat them like game pieces, as it turns out.
Yeah.
It's like, if
yeah.
you're gonna open the packs for the cards inside anyway, like,
Yeah.
take an extra 10 minutes and play Pygow.
It's an expensive hobby. Extract
Yeah.
as much fun as you possibly can out of it for your dollars. That's what I think.
This is very true, and it only seems to get more expensive as time goes on.
Yeah.
So, so shifting gears just a little bit here. This is a really lame joke, but I'm gonna make it anyway. Some say Wu-Tang is for the kids. I say Steel City is for the people. And what I mean, what I mean by that is, I know at like conventions and events, you two make a concentrated effort to play a lot of Magic, with a lot of new people, and a lot of games, which this is gonna sound kind of bad. I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's almost rare for, you know, quote unquote creators to kind of do that per se. And as much as the way I see you guys do it, like I know when people got all different things going on when I go to conventions.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
usually
yeah.
When I'm at a con, like I'll get one, I'm lucky to get a game or two in because I'm doing weird photo stuff. Usually that's what I'm kind of focusing on.
Conventions are for different things for different people. I don't think there is like a cookie cutter one right way to do it. I think that especially if you're at an event as a creator, it's your job to just bring whatever it is you do best to the table and do that thing real well and do that and impact as many people positively as you can doing that thing. For some people, that means just like endless meet and greets and signing autographs all day long because that's what people want out of your time there. For some people, it means like going around and taking pictures all day long. For us, it means playing games with strangers all day long because we think we're really good at it and we think that's a skill set that not a lot of people have. And a lot of people, like, we consistently get really good feedback about people who've played against us, and they're like, we all like get a lot of the like responses from people like, hey, you know, my day wasn't great, but thank you for turning it around, or you know, like I have had some really gross games all day long today, but this one I had fun, so thanks for that. Or like we've had people that show up to an event and weren't sure whether or not they wanted to be there or not. They just kind of like ended up happening to be there, and they had a really great time hanging out with us, and then that event rolls around again and they show up again and come see us. And so like we've had that kind of thing happen, so we think that there's something there. We think that we're good at what we do, and we think we have evidence for that. So yeah, we just try to do as much of that as possible, so we play a lot of games.
And I think that's super cool. Like I just remember specifically in Vegas, you know, I think I was mostly with Reversal that time. We'd walk by you and be like, oh yeah, we were in the command zone for the past like 4 hours just jamming games and this and that. And, like, we're gonna grab some food and come back, and like I think there was one convention, like you were posting like your stats about we played 6 games and we met 3 new people who had never done this before, and like that kind of stuff. I like, as someone who, you know, I already respect the hell out of both of you, but like oh, that's like that's the kind of stuff that like you love to see about bringing people into a space, because like, you know, conventions, the first time I went to, actually, the first like 2 or 3 times I went to a convention, like I didn't really know anybody. Like I knew like one or two people who, but they were all doing stuff. So I was just kind of like, I'm just here by myself. Like I don't, how do you find a game? And to like, I don't want to, be like, oh, like your content, you guys are so big. Like, you're known. Like I think you're a known entity, and like to have people like you, like, oh, going out and seeking like kind of people to sit down and play games with you, I think speaks a lot to like why Magic is so cool. And I think especially why the community can be so cool. And it's just like a very like open space where like you can kind of, everyone's just looking at, engage and have fun. And I remember we played in that hotel lobby, and I mean, you two are like locked and loaded to play games. You busted out the hard play mats on like this little round table, and you're like, oh yeah, we're fine. We don't need that much space. These will stand up straight. I'm just like, oh, this is like, these are pros right now. This is like watching an assassin. They pull out their briefcase and they're putting their rifle together. And you're just like, Duke, got my full thing, and it was great. Like that was what it was one of my most enjoyable memories from that con was just getting to sit down with you two.
That was a great game,
And it was super fun. Great banter too. I think it's very easy sometimes to kind of get caught up in like draw. I do this, kind of go, but like I think that's a very fun experience for people. I guess like you kind of touched on it, but like was that always like when you kind of started going to conventions? Like was that always like the plan, or is it something like you just kind of like you played some games like this is like what we want to do when we come to these things, like we just want to like play with as many people as possible, like
so we've not been content creators for a while, right? This is not like an old many year long thing. It's like been the last year where we've actually actively been making content. Now we've been Magic Internet Gremlins for like maybe a year or two beyond that, but like generally the whole content thing is new for us. And so but we have been going to Magic events and Magic conventions for a very long time, like since GPs were a thing. Like we've been traveling with like piling in a car with a bunch of our friends and going to Grand Prix New Jersey, or like we've been doing that kind of thing for a very very long time. And so and our philosophy for events, I'm actually kind of proud to say, hasn't really changed that much. Now, when MagicCons rolled around and they had more spectacle events and stuff, we were like, okay, well, we got to play in those events. And so we spent a little bit more time. Like at Magic 30, we were like, okay, let's try this unknown event thing. That seems really fun. Or let's try, there were a couple MagicCons that existed before we existed on the internet. And so we went to those and did a few scheduled events. But the more and more we did those, the more we realized, what we have the most fun with is playing Commander. And especially after they looped that into the like ticket cost instead of making it cost extra. Like that was also part of what informed how much or how little Commander we played at the first couple of MagicCons we went to, because it was extra to get into the command zone. So we just but we since it became included in the ticket, we just kind of, that's where we've been hanging out. We have the most fun at that. Now we'll occasionally do an unknown event every now and again, or a draft or something, or if somebody brings their cube, we'll occasionally sit down and do that. But grinding Commander games with people we don't know is usually how we spend our time. That's how we've been spending our time. So it's just, it's very cool. It's a very cool thing. It's just like I said, just seeing you like, just out there, just like how many kind of. I think I'm just jealous because I'm like, how many games you get in? I think I play like typically 2 or 3 the whole weekend. You're like, oh yeah, we played like 8 this morning. It was super fun, and then we're gonna get some lunch and come back. But so yeah, if you ever see Steel City at a convention, please go try to get a game win. Definitely worth your time. Yeah, we'll be nose down slinging cardboard somewhere, but we'll play games with you.
Well, you kind of called yourself little internet goblins, but you have been streaming a little bit more recently. Is that fair to say? What has the streaming thing been like? Because I always like to point out, people think streaming is like you just hit a button, you go live, and you kind of go to town. But there's a lot that kind of goes into like getting a stream ready and like being on stream and kind of like moving a stream along. So I guess what kind of pushed you into streaming, and what have your thoughts as kind of newly minted streamers been?
So our journey into streaming started with mostly being guests on other people's streams. It was sort of a one thing led to another, and we made friends with a handful of creators in the space, and they wanted to, play Commander with us.
Started with Commander Rules Committee, actually.
Yep.
We were friends with them, and they were like, "Hey, can you fill in?" And we're like, "Yeah, we can do that. We'll figure out how to set up a spell table camera." But yeah.
So we kind of made a little bit of our name for ourselves just by being in the community for a while.
Yeah.
But then jumped to a little over a year ago when Wizards first started printing Mystery Booster 2 in the festival in a box.
Yeah.
And we got one. Because we had so much fun we played a lot of the first Mystery Booster, and it was a total blast.
Yeah.
And we started seeing our friends posting online about just opening their Mystery Booster 2 packs and just getting the cards that were inside. And there's I don't want to tell people how they should or shouldn't spend their money.
We're
or
not
their
yucking
time.
yums here.
Yeah.
If ever there was a product that was meant to be played, it's Mystery Booster. The card pool is so big, and all of the playtest cards that you can't do anything with basically outside of playing Mystery Booster. There's a lot of reasons why that product is not good for opening for value, but is excellent to play with. And so as those posts started coming out, Steph was just like, you know what? We have our streaming set up. Let's go play Mystery Booster 2 and show people what they're missing by just opening the cards for value. And then we just kind of kept doing it.
Yeah. It turns out there's not a lot. Well, there's a lot of limited content on the internet, but it's all Arena. There's not a lot of people streaming with opening real physical booster packs and playing games with them. And so, yeah, I think we found a niche, and we're excited about it. But it turns out that that's an expensive niche, right? Because it requires you to have physical product all of the time.
Yeah.
So negotiating relationships with, first of all, developing enough of a presence that sponsors want to even talk to us was a little bit of a challenge initially, and then negotiating relationships with those sponsors to get product into our hands, or give us money so that we can put product in our hands. And make this at least a value neutral operation, or a cost neutral operation, has been a little bit of an exercise, but I think we've largely accomplished it.
Yeah.
So, and now it's very easy to tell loved ones what it is to get us for Christmas and birthdays and stuff. We just give them a list and say booster packs from these sets, please. That ends up working out well. So, yeah.
That's funny. I actually don't think I've seen. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head if I've seen live streaming limited play outside of Magic events, but you're right, it is all arena based stuff, but physical cards being drafted. That is interesting. Yeah, that is a definitely. I mean, to your point, expensive, right? Especially you're probably not drafting Mystery Booster Box 2s every night, but obviously so many different ways you can approach it, but that is super cool. And the Mystery Booster thing, what an interesting set, right? Super popular, so many cool cards. I guess to agree, there are some big money, right? The Future Sight Vanguard cards are kind of a thing if you were really treasure hunting, but I think the puller is maybe one a box, and maybe it's not foil, but it's just they've been such unwilling to make them readily available per se. I think they've really been limited to just
I think that the cost to design and produce that set, I believe, came out of the events side, the budget of the events team for Wizards, and so that team has been very closely guarding we spent a lot of money and time and a lot of our budget on this, so we want you to come to events so that you use this product rather than just being I can go to my game store and do that. I don't need to go to MagicCon.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily if it's maybe it's that they're closely guarding it. I don't know. This is all speculation here, but I think another component could just be if they only have an amount of money to spend on it, if it's out of the events team's budget, and so maybe it's not able
Yeah.
to be as big of an operation as what they want it to be. And so there's a couple of different things we can speculate on for why it maybe isn't bigger. But I do know it came out of the events team's budget, so and which is different from a normal Magic set. So
And it's there's always questions of like accessibility versus like sometimes if something's a little harder to get, it's a little more special in a way. I don't know. It's tough. It's a cool set. I actually have never even seen a pack. To be honest, I've never have had a chance to get one or. But yeah,
Ta-da.
that's there it is. Okay, Mystery Booster 2. All right.
Yes, we have. Steph got these. I think they're pencil holders.
Amazon says they're pen holders, but they're not. They're very clearly booster pack holders.
Yeah, they fit 12 booster packs quite nicely. So
Oh wow, that actually
is a
that's
really
actually pretty-
convenient storage method for us.
That is very handy. That's super cool. Have you? I'm trying to think that the streaming thing logistically has been filming like drafting over streaming been difficult for you, or did you were, I know you were kind of streaming. You were playing over on stream, so did you kind of just naturally shift over like from just a equipment standpoint? How was that? Was that a big jump over?
I mean, so we mostly stream sealed, right? So drafting would be a little bit more difficult just because you would have to like have overhead cameras and that would be a lot more challenging. But with this, it's the same setup as what we use for Commander, and we play a lot of Commander with webcams. So yeah, it's basically the same stuff.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
So you guys have been awesome. I've definitely been so thrilled you could join. I have to ask though about the pink hoodie. Is there? You always have a pink hoodie. It's kind of like your thing.
Yeah.
Is there a particular story behind the pink hoodie, or is it just?
Or
is it a secret? I mean, is that a secret? Is it like a
It's not secret lore. You can know.
So it started with at Commander Sealed 2 years ago.
Okay.
I guess
3 years ago.
three
So
Commander
3 Commander
Sealeds
Sealeds
ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first event that we went to after making a lot of connections in the online Magic space, where we knew that there were going to be people there we had not seen in person yet that we wanted to see and would want to see us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Steph bought 2 of these pink zip hoodies just to be a like really bright, really easy to spot in a crowd. You know, we posted on socials about it, like, hey, if you're at Commander Sealed and you want to say hi, we are going to be wearing these pink hoodies. Come say hi.
Yeah.
And so that was how it started, and then I just kind of kept wearing mine.
In public too.
Yeah, I
like it's like his default sweatshirt now.
Now it's just part of the brand.
Yeah. So initially when he started wearing it out of the house, I was like, "Are you sure about that? Like, are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah, it's just a sweatshirt, whatever." But now, yeah, it's just a fact of life in our household. It's just the pink sweatshirt.
I have to have it on hand in case we're ever on a stream or anything. I gotta grab it, put it on. It's part of the outfit now.
People request it too. Like if you're not wearing a pink sweatshirt when we're on stream, they're like, "Brad, why are you not in uniform?" So
It's like the professor not wearing a suit. Like you have to have the pink hoodie on.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
There's a spoof song in there somewhere, the Pink Hoodie Club. I'm sure that's someone else smarter than me can write. So
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for joining me this evening. What I want to do before we kind of wrap it up, I'm gonna pop up my community board through the magic of video editing. So it's gonna go like this, and it'll be there. Usually anytime I have a guest on or guest, I have them choose an organization or charity that I make a small donation to, just as like a thank you for coming on, and just kind of a nice thing we kind of do. And you guys chose Trans Lifeline.
Yeah.
So I'll just be making a small donation to Trans Lifeline, very popular organization for people on the show as well. Trans people are under unnecessary attack in this country right now, so it's just hopefully one resource they can find available. And this is kind of a small way that we can kind of continue helping support them in these very difficult times. Again, thank you so much for hopping on. Check out the Steel again. Also, Steel City, great branding.
Thanks.
Just kind of like really nails like branding. Let me tell you, branding is so important, and sometimes I get so jealous of people like. You know how Steel City Brad, Steel City Steph, like it's so easy. It's just it makes so much sense. Like I go back and forth. You call me Drew. Some people call me Show and Tell, but like that's the name of the show. It's not my branding name. And let me tell you, Show and Tell. If you Google that, you're getting a lot of stuff before you get me or
Before
a
you get
magic
Drew.
card. Yeah, I'm at the bottom of the list, very bottom of the list. So
Yeah, the names. It was not. They were not supposed to be this. They were not supposed to stick. I met Sheldon Menery at a Magic event and tuned in to the Commander Rules Committee stream. And he knew me as Steph from Pittsburgh. And so I was like, well, I'll make my Twitch name Steel City Steph. That way he knows who he's talking to whenever I'm in chat. And so that is how that came around. And then Brad made a Steel City Brad the same. And there was not a lot of thought that went into it. And certainly we did not think that it was going to have this level of longevity. But here we are indeed.
Here you are. It's funny how it comes sometimes you get stuck with those things. You're like, well, it's too late to read. We're just, I guess this is it. And
we're in it
Yes.
now.
You're in it now. So
Can't unring that bell.
can't ring the bell. Definitely. So you know what? So I'll make sure to link all of your Linktrees, Blue Skies, all that kind of stuff below. If you're listening and you enjoy what you've heard, feel free to hit subscribe. Don't hit the bell. No one hits the bell. We don't care about the bell. I don't. Whatever. But again, thank you so much for coming by, and long live Steel City. We'll catch you guys soon.
All right, we'll see you later.
Thanks.